야야 당연히 괜히 양보했다. 야. 네, 다 건가 셀레다 주다. 맞아 건가. 레레레서. 다 되는 맞아. 뒤도는 맞아. 자. 시대가 좋아지. 반대 자체나 야 뭐 산디야.
So as much as possible, so trying to fully relax your body, and then we should trying to make this use of this time to bring about some sense of really peace and happiness within ourselves.
근데 제자는 다 서서 기대에 서서 미는 말아 봐요. 니 따바지 서서 미에는 샤 가리나 서서 미에는 말아 봐서 이제 개좀 셔랑 내 되고야. 미에는 가져 가다 새다 시대들은요. 시대세다 가서 새 예마대와 마셔와들 시대자 들잖아. 안에 용어가 근데 저도 저된 좋아하셔도 너무 마시게 이제 나도 봐 거대 봐서 나도 예마대 마셔를 내할래요. 그래서 손을 들이서나 야본대와 가디나 서서지 내가 갈래나 서서 얘네 두네 미나제 코 말아 봐지 미코 야 공배 땅라다 미 만져반 저바 공배 소세는데 근데 나도 봐 저바 손으로나 야 보지 된데는 주다.
So whatever activity that we undertake in our life, so whatever that activity may be, so there is it's important to recognize the purpose, what purpose we are undertaking that activities, and so therefore the having recognized that purpose, then when we actually engage in that activity, and then we should not lose sight of that purpose, that aims and objective. So therefore the generally speaking, so what everybody seek in their life, regardless of what activity they do, but really the peace and happiness, within our mind or on a mental level, and so therefore when we so next thing, when we speak of this mental peace and happiness, so then what is that? How we can actualize that peace and happiness, and then of course in the spiritual terms, we talk about, in order to actualize that, we need to remove, like mental afflictions, delusions, all these kind of different terminologies we applied for that. But in simple terms, so it means to really to getting rid of these unpeaceful and very unhappy state of mind, and so therefore it is very important that whatever activity we undertake, so we direct that activity to achieve that aim, and also furthermore to even to whatever aim we are achieving, even to achieve more or the faster of that that sort aims and objective.
손을 맞서 가도 이면은 거 저진 거지 마 시야 저진 위치 때인데 맞아 손을 요네 손을 또 새 시대에 개좀 봐야 봐. 새 시대에 간에 영은 shidesa shi dia senda madea de ba sha da le ya dang ang nge sren dwa de chen zhou de ma shido da niemo ba shen ni jia xia de ne shiro no yi ma shen ni no se ge de la shi de jia de ne wa zo zang ma ye ma de wa ma de sha de le ge de da ma shen heng dong de wa da ti cha je zang do nge nge de wa 다 머데 소소 세우들 머데아데 셔와데 가르제근데 대셔송한도 편도 좀 쉬버선도와 다 진짜나 세우들 머데아데 간제서 용거야데 실제 해도야 조조 노노도 기억이야 이제 로노도 말에 키가 세 머데아 제가 세 대한 마시 세 머데아 생겨 이자 대하시에서는 셀ትን 시대문이와 마가디시에서는 셀 가래 용다 세대 그냥 인가래 셀 가도 뭔가 그냥 가래 뭐가 레서 가셔서 가래서 뭐가 셔 그래 뭐가 있냐 뭐 셀 가래다 야 다다 무슨 신신줄 대지바야 보다 손으로 대다셔 다 손으로 대도 다 손으로 대도 그래 다 당연해 생각 손으로 커야 다 손으로 커래 손으로 커래 다티 제세나면 제세나면 내 간대지나서 그거야 세 대하던 아주 제일 뛰가 세 못대하던 아주 제일 뛰가 내가 아주 때도 아주 때하고 세 대하던 제일 뛰가 아주 때도 가고 그래 세가 머대하던 제일 뒤반 가서 하고 그러네. 근데 역할을 제 손으로나 세대 이제 멋진 채소는 콜다 가자 멋진 채 키돌다 내가 그랬대. 내가 용어 하나 들더라. 세 머대 역할을 가 맞잖아. 콜레 코과 맞은 세 머대요. 대가도 얘네지 손으로 맞아 손도 영예를 가지. 근데가 봐 손으로 진코나 야부 빼야 돼. 얘네 가로.
So given the mental peace and happiness, so in another word, something like a peace and happiness, which is within ourselves, which is more on our deeper level, that as given that as our main thing that we seek in life, that we always something that we wish to achieve, and so therefore then, given that the fact, then we need to really, it's not something that this peace, deeper sense of peace and happiness, is not something that which is going to arise, automatically. So rather, it's something that we, individual person, have to give a thought on that, and not even giving a thought once or twice or even to give a thought and have some sort of an idea about that, but rather we have to be very serious about, when we think about that, it's very serious about this to first of all to recognize that this is what I want, and then therefore to look into, if that's what you want, then I want, then what I should do to achieve that. Or on another, conversely speaking, what is the obstacles or hindrances which will prevent us to achieve that. So therefore, when we think on this, then we can as first of all, as just we just touch on this just very briefly early on, that first of all we need to understand when we talk of the mental or peace or happiness or some sort of deeper peace and happiness, what does that exactly mean? So what does that mean is something that we, on a deep down, as an individual person, something that we really, within us, we feel ourselves so happy and so like a peaceful, and there's some sense of a true happiness that we feel. And so therefore, now if we look into the situations, when the situation where we have that, we experience that, or on another hand, if we don't experience or we're deprived of that, then we notice the situation where we don't experience that is when our mind is like very agitated, very disturbed, and sometimes it could be, the cause could be certain like a uncontrolled, like a certain distractions, external distractions to certain external things and event. So when we experience that, then we cannot, no matter what other surrounded by other good conditions, but we cannot really experience that. And then on the other hand, how then when we are of course there sometimes the cause why we do not feel such deeper peace and happiness could be also what we call as the mental affliction or the defilements, certain kind of very destructive emotions that when we experience that, and then again we have no chance of experiencing that deeper peace and happiness. So on the other hand, how when so on the other hand, so when we look into that, how when we are somehow, when we manage to, when we have the ability to actually to experience that deep peace and happiness, and then we can appreciate how wonderful that is. It is such that then we as an individual person can be really be peaceful, feel peaceful and happy, calm, regardless of whatever, even certain things, going wrong in externalities. So therefore, if we think about this, then the primary cause of bringing about or enhancing this deeper peace and happiness, so is not something, not so much depend on the external, changing the external conditions which we our life live. So rather to now, of course, it's not to say that external conditions are not really something not relevant. Of course, they are relevant, and if certain favorable external condition can be a favorable, to cause to bring about that. But however, the primary cause for that is something, within ourselves, depending on our own mental outlooks. So therefore, we have to think about. So it is something to relate to whether we are happy or not. It's something to. It depends on our own state of mind whether that is happy or not. If it's a question of, either our mind can be happy or not happy, or something. It is in a very joyful or not. So you can't have both at the same time. Happy or unhappy, and it's like same as we could have a certain like a attachment. Either we could have an attachment to the certain object or aversion to certain objects. But both attachment, however, the attachment and aversion as a mental state, so they are like a mutually exclusive. So you can't have together. So therefore, on the basis of that, so when we think about the having, after recognizing the cause for our mental peace and happiness, and recognizing, and then at the same time, we create that that conditions. Then when the cause is created, then naturally if you created the cause for mental peace and happiness, then we will find that it will arise within us. So likewise, if we on the other hand, if we do not prevent, or if you do not do anything to really to get rid of something that which is really, the causing, the making our mind unhappy or very unpeaceful, if you don't do anything about that cause, then of course we cannot get rid of that, the unpeaceful and unhappy state of mind.
네, 아서는 대다. 그래서 손은 대처로서 찌도는 소설롱어들 이네르다. 시대는 소화다. 나 전드니스랭 소설나. 라 전에가 시대 모임이 찌드니스레 nen주 소설. 딘 놀랭이 돈이 파. 라 마데 제드 파토. 네, 다 내제 저 시비 되니 시라실래 그래는 다제 야보시야 다. 다 대도는 아저씨 녀래 대도 공반든지 제거를 되니 야보셔라. 대인이 맨저도 원체. 야보셔라야. 내내서도 선도 뭐 야보시지. 대대 단대는데 와서 그 라비 라장 저거 봤어요. 그래서 나서 대들래 그래도. 나는
so we need to think over this the fact of the how what are the causes and the conditions which are like responsible for giving us like the experience of mental peace or happiness, or giving us the opposite, like the unhappiness within us. So as a the one as a the like the having the gift of this our human intelligence, or this discriminating wisdoms. So as we all possess that, so by how if we utilize that, the gifted like the discriminating sense of discrimination, of discriminating wisdoms, then we can quite obviously we can clearly see the cause and the conditions for happiness or for unhappiness, as if the connections, the causal link between the happiness and its cause and the suffering and its cause, as if we can so obvious that we can actually directly finger point, or it's something that we can even it will become so clear that we can contact, we can touch that, as if that knowledge is something substance. And so this what we're trying to say is how if we utilize this and develop this the discriminating wisdom, then how through wisdom then thing can become very clear to us.
다 진리 봐서는 또 소소 로테 zon개가 소소 이 시라 좀 쉬지 레서 예 시라 로테 제 소소 로도 이거 다 정년에 다제 통계시 너쟤는 저거 문들 소소는 소소 로다 제니 고마워 통계지 다 시라시 레서 하지 되게 좀 시라래.
So this discriminating wisdom that we cultivate and we developed within us. So in a way, when we develop that, then it would serve as a true guide, for us in our life, and which by depending on that, then it is we will be very clear to what kind of step that we should take in our right step that we should take in our life.
나는 체리 시가 맞대. 나 노이 체리 로도 된다. 왜네래? 내가 제가 만나지 하래. 노바들은 체리 야 셰그래 노이 체리 로도지 되래. 가시 저런 세리 바량 알 세가 되네. 가시 저런 세리 바론 세 세리 방에 저런 세리도 로지서 하면 너비 세리도 로지서 다 되지라 이제 다 손은 되네 또 괜찮네 되네 손도 그래 다 손 대도래 다손 대도야.
Quite often, the Buddhism is, or Buddhist philosophy, Buddhist knowledge is also, considered as like a Buddhist science, and also, even some people even call me as a science, scientist, and so the thing that we just discussed about how the cultivating or these the discriminating wisdom and how through that we can see clear gain the understanding of the truth of the cause and effect, and that is what is we can call that as a true science, and we call it the Buddhist science, which is based on the fact.
That's something. They that Sujekari Jagara, Nesha, Children, Masa children, Yagoman, children, Taji Jason, go you was Shibuchi, but no idea. Ro? That's so solid. Shira gave it done it, Gomba Potonga, no idea, tell you that. Then lodges tell you. So Shira ya Kashing lodges, standard Shira Zumbi, Shira Zumba ya Sheni, Mama Ma said again, no I did then Shira lodges, and then you would do it.
So in a way that the Lord Buddhas, in his in giving teachings, so he gives the liberty for each individual being to find the what is the most beneficial for themselves, but through and advising them that each individual you should utilize your own intelligent power. This is discrimination, sense of discriminations, and so the Buddha never impose on his follower that you should believe in what I said out of your respect or your faith to me. So rather the Buddha put a lot of emphasis on individual to utilize their own intelligent power, and because we understand that how by utilizing this intelligent power, then we will be able to really to dispel the ignorance and the darkness within our mind, and at the same time, then we will be able to develop, bring about this the knowledge, the light of knowledge, and to see things clearly by ourselves.
That thing Nobody handle you, like on a chicken, you like on a chicken, so was a rest. Some was one saddle is over there. Some was a saddle on you. Yeah, other shot on Jetin, that's all like this. There, I was soon you are. That's on there to get ready.
So in relation with what we've been discussing here, so if I quote this passage by the great Lama Tsongkhapas, who said that it is the whether or not our actions is something very beneficial or harmful, or literally something which is like a white or black. So it's depending upon the whether our mental attitude is white or black, and so if our mental attitude is white in the sense very positive, then whatever the actions, whatever that follows after that, everything will be also positive. Whereas if our mental attitude is gone wrong, is negative, destructive, then what follows after that will also becomes negative and destructive. So therefore the summarizes that everything is really depends upon our own mind.
다 됐어. 손도 가르손도 가도 샤 가르는 새 중에 로그 되게 지시고 다 가지고 고대베잖아. 샤 가르면 가도 새년 맞아. 샤는 유산도 와. 샤는 마셔고 새 중에 로그다. 다 새등에 로그래. 샤딩에들 새년들 로그 새 중에 샤 중에 들려는 주세요. 다. 되게 달로서 첨보정 가도 되고요. 대응하는 리디아부 신은 샤들 만중에든 준대지 새들래서는 새 야부들래서는 당하는 리더래 새 마리아들래서 다 시적 제바시 됐다 제비그라 제비응에는 맞제버지 되이면 로도 있네 맞제바 제바시 개처머리 되는데다 다티 로조데 사래라 새 징에의 전이 샤들이 현대 진료를 새 좀버지래도 가래지 때를 새도 야부면아 다 샤딘 레버들라 야부 요즘에 봐 시사를 가서 제용이죠. 샤들 맞아야 다 뒤제도 그러봐. 그래서 다 샤든 주 새다 그 전제 야부야 전제 얘는 다 쉐바 좀버 야부야는 다 저가는 유용이야. 그래서 다 서는 내대 된다서 네. 새 좀버가 가는 새 좀비 가는 정말 이제선 대응 가는 뭘 깨자시 민 논저 시 깨자 그래서 뒤에 로 가봐 예 가봐 저서가 사 가발 두는 새 좀버 키근 로데 새 말이야 지게 앞에 큰로나 봐나 드리고 봐 저래가는 녀모 잡아지 끈르는 가도 많이 가르마 레기 셔바 가르셔마 로마데아지 예마데아지요 다팅한데 대하셔서 새가 셔서 새마가 때서 다 새서 뭐 쇼마디 이제 간도 끊을로네 예라 깨제셔 봐도 레기노제 대서는 롱게 새라가 때서 예게 새라가 때서 로제냐가 가 제서 그래서 샤대정에는 안 써도 예로나 치버지 런디와 손은 드레 또도 얘네래 손바서 뭐 대응하도 랭아 이거 샤대는 맞정에네지 가셔서 예로 셰통이 땡된디와 다세 말이야 키 샤지 단단 얘네는 안 이제세 잡으셔근디와 이제세 더세제 늘 신장인들 싸니 뭐야 소소는 근데 저지 제가 편도 전에 다선 대서 하고 소화되야 가드도 돼 대하시 대다 대 라체 소화되지
So in essence this that above passage by the Lama Tsongkhapas, what the is saying is that that whatever the actions or the activity that we undertake, and that action or that activity must be preceded by a certain like a thought, or like a, which serve as a, like a driving force for that that activities. So therefore we do understand that without the the thought, thought, or without the preceding thought, then we cannot undertake, we cannot do any actions. So therefore we have to understand here that in fact the key, like the advice that which is showing us here is that then, if that's the case, then we should if we wanted our actions to be something very very beneficial, something which is meaningful, and something which will make us feel ourselves very proud of, and also to be really to take rejoice in later on for what action we have done, then what is saying that then we should ensure that before we engage in any action, so we should ensure that we should have a very good look at our thought, which serve as a motivations or as a or this like a impulses that which drive us to do that action. We should have a very good look at that thought, and then we can be assured that if that thought is something very positive, very wholesome, such as the thought which has the which shows or which indicates some sense of like a loving and a caring towards other, like a love and compassions, then we can be sure that whatever the action that follow after that, including such as like our action that we create through, could be like a verbal action through our speech or through certain physical actions. So all these, then we can be assured that all these actions could be something very pleasant and beneficial, and so therefore when we take this into account, then we we get some sort of the directions, in a sense that because we had a look at our motivations, and our frame of our mind, and we recognize that is something positive, that is something really beneficial, and so therefore we understand that that whatever actions that we do out of that will be something worthwhile. On the other hand, if the thought that we hold within us is something negative, then we have to. It is important that then if we if we don't then prevent or to implement, if you don't stop implementing that thought or materializing that thought, then what will happen. We got to understand what will happen, and then whatever that action that result from that thought, whether it's a verbal or it's something the physical. So like could be something even as such as like just what we say out of that we say to other people, or the kind of bodily gesture that we express to other out of such with a negative and such a very destructive thought, then we have to understand that it could be also something very that gesture, physical gesture, our physical action will be also something very harmful, something not worthy, praiseworthy, and so in this way there is if we take the responsibility of our own particularly, in here, the emphasis is on our own mind, our own thought, and which, when we talk of that, is one of the tools that we can apply to that. Is a very important tool. Is the mindfulness, as it's called, or really the power of memory that we have to employ. That is to so that if we look at our thought, and if the thought is something positive, something what the thought, the kind of the influence that thought have on us, on what action we should do. If it's something very positive, then the message for us is that then we should follow that thought, that mental attitude, and this is where we have to apply this mindfulness and the memories in order to ensure that then we whatever actions that we are creating are all the result from that thought, rather than on the other hand, if the thought is something negative, and then we should try to prevent or acting us from acting us out of that negative thought. So in this way, we can be a bit more assured that as the end result, there is less thing for us to feel guilty and feel negative and feel regret for whatever we've been doing, we've done in our life. And on the other hand, rather than we can look back, and so we can see there's more to feel proud of, more to feel positive, and more to feel even to feel admiring oneself.
Nothing I cause was in says over king, and Jefferson, king Sheles and Rogaje, Jegachetos. That's him, Maria, king Sheles and King Jefferson, Romagaje, Jemagaches one. Is that I go? Rose say, Magia Masha, Gaza, Rongi says on what Renua. Rongi says on Rogashing, Jegashing. Rongi says Maria, Romagashing, Jemagashing. Don't understand todo. You know, son, what is Yabushera, that's a song. Ra, son of the little on the money in a Paradishera, pancake. Mother, the little was. The little other knew that level, knew that you no sang to you, take it, you that you was ever do that. Charason to the go, the atas on there to the tang you 3 in one at the carriage, mother says on what say apples or you take it, other sell a god, say Maga shagged, Maga, my shah shagged. Jella never much if it jag sell a god, they are tagged. Roll hella changed, Jen hella changed, roll pop ever changed, yeah, pop ever changed is a Tangando, Jenina, Chibana Chin, that says on one Manoba, Tokubeto, Tangene, Titina, telling the other. So what we have been discussing is really to understand that how the positive, our own positive state of mind can be really a source of happiness, and source of bringing even the joy or in the minds of even for oneself and for others. And on the other, conversely speaking, how if our own like a negative state of mind, then how that can be a cause of
unhappiness, for oneself and for others. So so in this way, we are also saying that at the end it is really when we experience happiness, when we feel good and feel joy, what is that that which makes us, that which causes us to feel happy, feel joyful, is nothing but our own state of mind. And similarly, what is that, just as how we feel, how our own this positive state of mind how that can make us feel, feel good, feel positive, feel happy, and it also had a similar effect on other people as well. Who, when we speak of other people, they are none other than those who you are living with, those who are close to you, who are around you. So you also, how we can also understand, we got to see the impact, the influence of how our positive state of mind have on other people in making them, bringing joy and happiness in their own mind. So so therefore, then of course, if we also need to then look into the bit more specific about what is the positive state of mind and what are the negative state of mind that we are talking about here. And then, like for example, if you're holding any like a ill thought, any like the animosities towards others. So when we hold that kind of thought in our mind, then in how we feel ourselves, so we're very awful, very unhappy, and that also have then the same. We can also cause the same kind of unhappiness and such a negative feeling on the other people as well. So so therefore our practice, so therefore, should be to work on cultivating the positive state of mind, and if it's after it's cultivated, then trying to prevent it from losing it, from disintegrating it, but trying to, if possible, trying to even further increasing it.
That's says Manyoba Combatang. Sema Zumba the Manyoba Combator, Tadisha, Nigeria. Nita said that says Zumbosani Yungudi. Another Nisha, Nita Momus of Yard. Saying the other, so chair, says Zumbosani Yungudi. Finish says Zumboyan, much your boy son. Said that is another says Zumbo, Manana, Mother Shedek and so at the time. Manyogo, Shedek one sort of it. Either says Zumbo the mother, Manyoba Combeto. That says Zumbo the Manyoba Combeto, like says about condition. You only says about Conde, Telegen, Manyoba. They shall never say that gossip, never didn't lay away. Didn't are son of Chetani. So the goal, the Genetelice, Katin and Genere, so the Shedet Tata, Zutobaching we are. Gacha Legara, Tarishan, Geshe Doga or Trabatic Zutogra, when you lot of laying that, there is that, go like tongue on the gotage. Says why I just select, I just what in
So just to summarize or to review what we've been saying before. So so therefore our practice, our main practice, so is to cultivating a positive state of mind, and then the increasing or developing that developing it, and and this is something this area of the how the cultivating positive state of mind, how that is so key to the to finding happiness in our life. So this is something that I have personally given a lot of thoughts on that, whether that is really the true or not, and then of course there is no doubt that when a individual person, when they they find this positive, when they possess a very positive state of mind, and then there is then that person can be happy, can be joyful, and otherwise, as we were saying before, how if you are there is the state of mind that we have within us, our within our continuum, if that is something not positive and rather is something negative and unwholesome, and then there is no hope for the person to really to find happiness, find peace, without that. So without the happiness and the peace within your mind, so there, then it's very difficult to say that, or to individual person to actually to feel that this peace and happiness. So therefore, now when we think of now how to cultivate positive state of mind, and so this is where what we call as the practice of meditations becomes very relevant and very important for to integrate in our life, because the meditation practice to meditate literally means to get familiar with, or to habituate with. And so what that means is it's a practice. It's a practice which enable us to familiarize or habituate our mind with these positive mental attitudes, which we've been just saying before, discussing before, how when our mind really becomes this very positive mental attitude, and how that's become that will naturally then brings peace and happiness within us. So therefore that is the meditation, and then of course we also have to understand what how to meditate, what we need to do in the meditation practice, and so which in essence so is the applying, familiarizing ourselves with, training ourselves with to properly applying the mindfulness and the alertness or the awareness, and through that then we train our mind to become habitual with the positive way of thinking.
Se Marion, the Sigurd just learned that religion you are. Not touch it. So say, Masha, Marion, shed in it. Getting sauce on the water. Lake Chan, not the Jeffers of us, Lucius and Tenches is sending Maji. Touching the cell, Latella, Marina, Lida said the young ocean. Let never said the woman, that Charles read. My son to the Kakaya Mundi, Wrong Jidia, Kunrosa, Majasa, Trados, Condoren, Zagsit. Trados are the Mokoro, Mother, Trados, Dindua, called sins of Chondos Rejanus. Rangangane Tajan Zoji, the main lieutenant, Tajan Zang, Zendo, Masemadazo, Choros Rendua. That in number can I Choros, oh, the Martin number can the Mado Sonny, Sosa Lode. Not on Yamo, shoulder of a tail, Jaja, Tavachit. Jaja jam that it down it, and I made us in Jung Colate, Corals on the Jedal son of Matachi, Dedo, Yapoya, Talcondi, Gale, Jana, out and near it, I think I'm going to come away there.
So it is so now time for us to engage in the meditation practice, to try the meditation practice, and so as usual. So we will do just a short breathing meditations, and in this meditation. So of course the breathing in and out, becomes the main object for our mind or for our mental attentions, and so therefore we got to make sure that as we begin the meditation practice, fully relaxing our body, and then trying to let go of all the distracting thought, and so they let the mind fully rest, fully subside within ourselves, and then trying to maybe have a bit of thought on that, how to focus, bit of thought, or to focus on the on the purpose of the meditation practice. So which is the purpose is to overcome what we were saying before, this state of mind which is very wild, which is not a peaceful, and which is very uncultured or unhappy one, and so trying to recognize that as if as you focus on this unpeaceful, very rough and wild and unsubdued mind, as if you see that mind so clear that as if you can point your finger to that mind and say that you are the source of all my troubles, that all my unhappiness, I have to say that I can only blame on you, because if not for you, everything in my life is so wonderful. There's no reason, when we take into account of all the other beautiful conditions that where we live in, or circumstance where we live in, there is no reason for us to be unhappy. So therefore you're trying to blame to this this unpeaceful and this negative state of mind. And for example, sometimes it could be for example a jealous state of mind could be something which can be disturbing to you. And then again we got to point this jealous state of mind is something within ourselves. That is where our own mind, with jealousy, which is in the form of certain negative state of mind, that is where we have to finger point, but not to the persons who we feel jealous, and as not to the person, rather to your own jealous mind, and then saying that you are the blaming that as a cause of all the suffering. And so in this way, trying to then cultivate this strong thought, strong motivations that now I will not fall under the influence or under the power of this which is this negative state of mind. So with this thought, and then as we said before, then we kind of let go all the distracting thought, and let the mind, as the mind fully subsides within within ourselves, and then we begin to place the mind on, or direct our whole attention of the mind, like 100% attention of the mind on the incoming and outgoing breath, and we sit in there for a little while.
야야 나는 자연 자지중 나도 하면 너무는 내 뒤에 쳐서 야보세 성성이 시 가지 음식 저러는 야보니에 성 뒤에 생이
maybe we'll leave the talk here, but there's maybe a room for maybe one or two questions if you have. If there has anyone's got a question? No. So if there's no question, then I'd like to thank you for paying really great attention to my teachings. Although I'm not sure how it went. So there's a question here. Okay.
What is the difference between like a worldly happiness and more like a real happiness from within?
그 대화 성경에 나가서 대화 지단기 다지 직된바스나 민도 다 사제 대와스나 민도 직된기 대와세다 당조기 최종의 대와세 시해줘라. 딩이 바로 개박하려 그래서. 남중앙조 다 가게 나올라 즉 대와세 줘라.
대당도 거의
대와스나 들라.
거의 대하세. 거의 대하 사전 퇴직 계좌에서 대하들다 거의 대하 사제 대하를 건전로 계지. 이 영화스레 대생활에서. 대전 치제는 당연히 시라 용어로 와. 저도 치지 대하세 시라 깨비 또 있는 대하 시라 기점을. 시라 걸어 종교 시라 깨비 대하신데 왔고 바바 통해서 하시고 거니까 군이라 와랬어. 뭐 제가 먼저 다다 사도 제가 땡기 대하 주저래도. 가와사나 제일 땡근 둘 아버지나 제일 땡근 내가 조신이나 제일 땡근 아 서서 싫어 깨비 내한테 가디언에 대야 제 바바 통해서 너무 정보랬는 거야 제가 땡기 내가 땡보야 마 가디언에 대야 말해 문제가 많아 졸라 때는 가도 대야 졸라 때 가디언에 문제가 서서 싫어 깨비 내한테 가디는 어때서 하신 거를 제가 소지도 삶에 내한테 되니까 좀 못하대 제가 지금
So usually, you said worldly happiness, and we can also in Buddhism we can also use samsara, samsaric happiness. So this is all the happiness, kind of happiness which are the depending upon the material causes, right? And also in terms of the causes, like such as depending on when we enjoying a good meals, or you can have a very special clothes to wear.
사 즈르르셴 가도 대아야 뭐대아 용은데 와. 나 가도 르셴 내려는 거 같아. 내 생활에서.
Or depending on friends. So in another explanations where when you talk of the worldly or the samsaric happiness, so it is happiness more on the level of like a sensual, sensual experience, sensual experience. So we, which in terms of the there are five senses, such as like a form, visual form, sound, smell, touch, and so forth. So on that level, so whatever the kind of pleasure that we experience, so this we can call it like a worldly pleasure, worldly happiness. And so now when we talk about the more on the true or the more happiness on a deeper level, of course there are we can talk of the certain where they use the term uncontaminated happiness, so which we won't go in that area, but generally it's a kind of level of happiness which is not which arises from within yourself, which is not so much the contingent upon the external condition, causes and conditions. So rather it arises, for example, like we were just talking before, through your own, when you are, when your wisdom, when your discriminating wisdom increases, and through that, so you are able to find some sort of meaning, and through that you find some sort of satisfaction and happiness. So that is something arise from within yourself, from your own, primarily from your own mind, and so which we find in many scriptures, like as the Asangas saying how these, all the happiness, like a sensual happiness or the worldly happiness that we find, these are all not really, they are unreliables. And whereas the one that we talk about, happiness from which arise from within, are more can be more reliable or more sustainable.
That goes out there. The I like happy like, no happy no like I. They all come in. Now you say poem here, poem here, poem over there. See, I see. Yeah, beautiful poem say you happy. That's the body happy. You know, ugly says no happy. You know. Something that's sound there. I hear I like a nice sign. Really, I hear. I like happy. I know unhappy. They all come in suddenly. No, you like, no sad. All come in suddenly. I, you know. Yeah, really. The I see. Maybe see nice scene. Yeah, you watch it. So whatever. That color the chachi leg. That's you was the color chadochi leg.
No.
That call the watches and the just that tell you how one damn Roger Kangal. Master Buchi, my yes, I didn't. The one they're going to say, go, Mongoshi colleague. There was the Monday number shot. They be number level, Chapa shaker. Kangal say, Monday number young, I couldn't shake. They are there for so much occasion. When I just was done this, they was a drop. There for so much occasion. Then there for some that and it's in the eyes. That's on that together. You know, so the machine, they shall own the Madras. Then I could own the Madras and do the machine and call out and they shall trouble my shepherd. On a call out and control trouble my shepherd. Don't answer anyone. Also soll das hier gut, ja. Da der Tag, ist ja den Rest da.
So how on the sensual level, sensual object levels, how normally, our experience, what the kind of happiness that we perceive, we seek, is very much is very much on the sensual level, in the sense that how, when certain visual objects, for example, if it's something very attractive, something very a beautiful one, then it gives us some sort of a pleasure, or there is some sense of wanting to have that, or we call it attachments. Whereas if the object is something unattractive, something ugly, or whatever, the sound that you hear is not pleasing and rather very disturbing, and then how then again with respect to sound, then we could have arise the attachment and aversions, and how when an individual experience that these attachment and aversions, and how there's no end to suffering. There's almost like their experience is completely perpetually something unpleasant, and so therefore, as we were saying before, normally on the world life, when we talk about our measurement of happiness is more depends on how successful we on the acquisition of the worldly objects, in terms of those 5 sensual objects that is within our power, and that is the measurement. But however, in terms of our experience, true experience, it is not necessarily that we have more of those the good external acquisition doesn't mean that we have more happiness, and so therefore it is very important in order to we need to transcend that kind of sensual happiness to find the happiness more within ourselves. And the way we do it is to whatever we experience the world, such as even through visually, when we see certain various objects, then we should not, that should not be a cause to arise like an attachment and the aversions. So in this way, in another word, so this deeper happiness is less kind of depending on the external conditions.
Nyola Nanga Chambotenga. That's something to the Trizanga son of dead and Desha in Yaba and other Rikagua. Kunro Yaba and other read the Wondua. So you want them Desha Jilag, other chi, Soson dead again. Dead in the eye you think as in Redua. They are yet again, other tell the Rikandua. Mo Achela call a Kunro Legger, Lonso Yamadia Legger, Kunro the there's another cat and Yaba let Hawachi. Do what there's Kunro dead, do let Lagoyade. They shot then Yaba Rikagoyade, do a Kagoyade. They are 10 other something, 10 other hold in it.
And also when we speak of the desire for happiness and for wanting happiness and not wanting happiness, so this is something, the desire is there as long as we have this deep like a sense of I within ourselves, so that there is that arise. And now, however, it is what we are trying to find here is the how if when we rely on this kind of happiness that is really more contingent upon the other factor, that is like other outside of not on oneself, but is under the depending on the external other factors, then when we depend on that, then it is in a sense that it is not really fully in our hand, in our control, or in our choice. So, however, when we talk about on the other hand, when we talk about this deeper happiness within us, which, as I said before, which we can result from, which we can gain from our like a discriminating wisdoms, then on one aspect, that happiness is always there within us, is always accessible in a sense that whenever we want, it is always there and it is always within one's reach or within one's control, within one's capacity. But whereas the other happiness, which depend on the other factor, which is not depending on that. So in this way, we can also see now in terms of our experience, how when we experience a desire, and then with the desire, of course, we will perceive the object as being something very beautiful, something very attractive, something very pleasing, as if it is the source of happiness, and so therefore, from that perspective, even though it is not the true source of happiness, that or the object of the desire is not a true source of happiness, but yet it is because the way that object appear to us, so therefore as being very attractive, so it's very difficult to actually to recognize the flaw or the shortcoming of the desire, and therefore it is said that it is difficult for us to overcome desires. So when, in comparison, when we talk of our experience of like a animosity or a hatred, then we can clearly, easily, is it easier for us to recognize the shortcoming and the flaw of that state of mind and the disadvantage of that mind, and so therefore, on one hand, it is at the same time it's easier to overcome it. So even the Lama Tsongkhapa used the analogy of the desire as being is like a drop of like a oil on a piece of paper, so which will really absorb or dissolve into the paper, and then once it's absorbed, it's very hard to. It's almost impossible to separate it from it. So from the paper. So likewise, to indicate the difficult task of overcoming desires. And especially if we become like habituated with the desire, then harder it become harder it for us to get rid of it. Yeah. So even to the point that even let alone we think of actually overcoming it, but actually we see the desire has sink into our mind in such that almost like it is the without it is almost like there's no meaning, there's no happiness. So this so it's that it's very difficult to separate the desire when it become very take a strong hold, strong grip in our mind, become very habituated with our mind. Even somebody asked me to advise trying to get advice on how to overcoming the desire, but I simply advise that maybe there's nothing wrong if you have a small amount of desire, and the person was very happy with that. So it's just the caution was put by one fairly very young age woman, age girl, and who said to that when she think about reflect on all the shortcomings of the various other delusions or mental afflictions, she could say she could truly understand that and can be a little bit find there's a motivation to overcoming that. But however, she cannot see any way to overcoming the desire for her friend, and so this is where I advise to maybe, to simply say, if you have a small amount of desire, that there's nothing wrong with that, but however, that eventually then, as that help. So this girl actually, applied the teaching in the real practice. So she actually said that she, she applied the practice to trying to recognize, to reflecting on all the shortcomings, faults of the anger, and she applied that, and she, she found that the practice, really very effective, and really work on that. And then after that, when she trying to apply the practice to overcome her desire or her obsession, and then she found it extremely difficult, and this. She bring that up with me, and I was very pleased with that, because it really, what the question that she brought to me was, it's not just talking, but rather something that she shared to me, her own, what she actually truly experienced in her own practice. That is important. Yeah. Also, some younger the followers, people who follow the meditation practice, so they also share their experience, that how that if they put an effort on trying to in the practice, and then they found that when they actually they recognize some like a fault of certain, like for example, certain like mental afflictions and certain things, when they recognize that, they understand that fault, then it truly is a very beneficial, and they find it makes a sense for them then to put in making some effort to try to overcoming that. So so therefore, at least to think, even if they are not able to fully overcome that, at least it gives them some sort of in the back of their mind. It gives some sort of the warning that that these are these are something destructive, something harmful.
Kundu sasa jen no de peng de wa ngen this is anga no go you think anga no go think the come mind come inside and anga oje forget very good anga no go you think they forget no anga finish really thinking I think there's a thing hey here, no anga no pen, anga here a pen. Anga oje there no pen, here no come here, anga come here pen. Anga no go, you think finish, anga finish. Really? Korong all done metal get you out there. Korong all touch the machine don't get you out there, you happen
to in order to overcome anger, so we have to recognize the anger, where it is anger, and so therefore we cannot think that the trying to recognize the person or an object which which serve as a condition for the anger, as the actual anger, and trying to when we're trying to overcoming the anger, we focusing on that objects. So that is very wrong. Rather, we should be, if we want to overcome anger, we should be focusing our mind inward, because the anger is within ourselves, within our mind. It is not, anger is not that object, or that for example that persons. So rather it is we should able to should trying to recognize the anger within our mind, and then to really to finger point to that, and then there is actually it is said that there are certain kind of mental afflictions which, when we are able to finger point to that, and when we really say that with the direct all our attention to that, then it kind of kind of become like a self-destructive, become a self-destroyed. It get destroyed by itself when we really focus our mind on the anger itself. Then by nature, and then it disappears, or it loses by itself. When if you have the anger, when we're trying to recognize.
I know anger, I don't know.
When you have a dialogue with your mind, for example, the anger.
No.
So can you refer to anger, call it as a you?
You said that
No. Can you call Geshe saying that maybe you can only refer to certain like an animate object, like a person's. So anger is like an abstract object. Yeah. But is it okay? In grammatically, is okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Metaphorically or whatever. Yeah. The gyönyö 말해서. No. No. Yeah. So whether it's correct in English or not, grammar.
Yeah.